All right, hockey fans, strap in, because we're diving deep into a debate that's hotter than a slap shot off the crossbar. Are the Winnipeg Jets, are they really Canada's top team right now? It's a pretty bold question.
Yeah, especially this early in the season.
Exactly, we're just a few games in.
Right. It's October 22nd, and get this. The Jets are the only live-wire undefeated team left in the entire NHL. Undefeated.
Really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. And that's why we're digging into this piece from the Salt Star titled Off the Post. Are the Winnipeg Jets the best NHL team in Canada? They're on fire right now, but is that enough to make them the kings of the North?
Well, the article doesn't give us a straight answer, you know?
Okay, so more like leaving us hanging a bit.
Yeah, it's like they're setting the stage for a big debate, and judging by the names involved, probably a pretty intense one.
Who are we talking about here?
This Off the Post episode features some serious hockey heavyweights. Steve Simmons, Bruce Garrioch, Patrick Johnston, and Rob Wong. We're talking big opinions coming from those guys. Wow, those are some major names in hockey analysis. It's like an all-star lineup of commentators.
Right, and the article mentions there's a video of their discussion, which I would love to see.
Oh man, I know, right?
Yeah, unfortunately the video is not part of our source material.
Talk about a tease. But hey, even without the video, we can still break down the setup, right? Like, figure out what they're focusing on.
Exactly.
So what is it about the Jets that's making people think they're Canada's best? Is it just this undefeated streak, or is there more to the story?
Well, the way the article's written, it seems like they're making a point by contrasting the Jets' success with the struggles of some other Canadian teams.
Interesting. So like they're standing out even more because of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're saying, hey, look at how well the Jets are doing, especially compared to these other teams who are, well, not doing so hot.
I see. So it's adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of other teams, the article mentioned the Nashville Predators, who are winless, by the way, yikes, and the Detroit Red Wings, who also haven't been having the greatest start.
Oh yeah, those two are definitely struggling.
Right. So by bringing up the Predators and the Red Wings, it really emphasizes just how well the Jets are playing, you know, like it's making a statement.
I agree. It's like they're trying to build up the Jets by showing how much better they're doing than some other teams.
Yeah.
Like they're saying, look, if you're looking for the best team in Canada, look no further.
So we've got this undefeated streak that's got everyone talking, and now we're seeing how it measures up against the competition. This is already shaping up to be a really interesting deep dive, even without that video. What else is jumping out at you?
One thing that really stands out to me is that the article doesn't really get into the specifics of why the Jets are doing so well.
You're right, it doesn't.
It's like, we know they're winning, but the how is still a bit of a mystery. Is it because of their goaltending? Or maybe their offense is just unstoppable? Or maybe it's all about their coaching strategy.
Yeah, it's like we're missing a piece of the puzzle, you know?
Exactly. And it makes you want to know more.
It does. And I'm especially curious to know what those commentators on Off the Post had to say about it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because, yeah, those are some seriously opinionated hockey analysts. And they probably all have different takes on why the Jets are succeeding. It's like they each hold a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
So let's try to piece together those different perspectives and see if we can understand what's making the Jets tick.
All right, let's do it. It really does make you wonder what those guys had to say about all this.
Doesn't it? Like, we're missing out on some juicy hockey talk.
Yeah, for sure. Especially knowing the personalities on that panel, they don't hold back.
You're telling me. We've got Steve Simmons, who's, well, let's just say he's known for his, how do we put it nicely?
His strong opinions.
Yeah. Let's go with strong opinions. He's not afraid to stir the pot, that's for sure.
Definitely not. He always brings the heat to any discussion.
And then you've got Bruce Garrioch, who's basically Mr. Ottawa Senators. He's got to have some interesting thoughts on the Jets, being a fellow Canadian team and all.
Oh, absolutely. I bet he's got some insider knowledge on how the Sens view the Jets' success. You know, like whether they see them as a real threat.
Yeah, the rivalry angle there's got to be juicy.
For sure. And then we have Patrick Johnston. He's like the stats guru, always breaking down the game from that analytical perspective.
He got the numbers to back up his arguments, that's for sure.
Well, exactly. And then there's Rob Wong. He brings this unique perspective to the table, always has a fresh take on things.
I like him. He always keeps things interesting.
Yeah, he's great. So just imagine all these different perspectives clashing and combining, trying to understand the Jets phenomenon.
I know, right? It's like each one of them has a piece of the puzzle, a different angle on why the Jets are winning.
Right, like Simmons might be all about the bold pronouncements, you know, declaring them the best team in the league based on pure gut feeling.
And Garriock might chime in with, hold on, the Sens have got their number. They're not as invincible as they seem.
Exactly. And then Johnston comes in with the scats, breaking down their Corsi numbers and their PDO and explaining exactly why they're so successful from an analytical point of view.
And then you've got Wong. Maybe he's looking at it from a more like human perspective,
Yeah.
Talking about team chemistry or the underdog story.
Totally. It would be amazing to hear their whole conversation to see how they bounce off each other.
It's a shame we don't have that video.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? Even without it, we can still speculate a little, right? Like play armchair analyst for a bit.
Let's do it. What do you think they might have focused on? Yeah, I mean, we know the Jets are undefeated, but how are they doing it?
Right. Like, are they all about offense, just racking up the goals every game?
Or are they playing a more defensive style? Shutting down the other team and waiting for their chance to strike?
That's a good question. And what about their special teams? Are they killing it on the power play? Or is it their penalty kill that's been the key?
Yeah, those are the kind of details that really separate the good teams from the great ones,
Exactly. And I think even though the article doesn't explicitly tell us what the commentators said, it does hint that there's something special about the way the Jets are playing. It's not just luck, they're doing something right, and those commentators probably had some strong opinions about what that something is.
Yeah, it's like they're dropping little hints, leading us down a path of intrigue, but then they stop short of giving us the full picture.
Right. They're definitely leaving us wanting more.
Makes you wonder, are they doing it on purpose? Like, is this all part of their storytelling strategy?
Oh, for sure. They want to keep us hooked, keep the conversation going, even after the article's over.
It's like a good cliffhanger, They get you invested, and then they make you wait for the resolution.
Yeah. It's a smart move. It keeps us engaged, makes us think critically about what we've read and heard.
It's making us work for it.
Exactly.
It's like they're playing with us a little bit.
Oh, totally. They're giving us just enough to get us hooked, but then leaving us with more questions than answers.
It's like a good mystery.
Yeah.
They drop these clues, these little hints, but they're holding back the big reveal.
And that's what makes this whole thing so interesting, right? We have to think for ourselves, analyze what we know, and come to our own conclusions.
Exactly. We can't just take the Jets' undefeated streak at face value. We have to dig deeper and try to understand what's really going on.
Yeah, it's not enough to just look at the wins and losses. We have to understand the why behind it all.
You're right. It's like, what really makes a team the best? Is it just about winning, or is there more to it than that?
That's the million-dollar question. There's so many factors to consider, right? Like, what about team chemistry? That can make or break a team.
Oh, absolutely. That unspoken connection between players where they just seem to know what the other guy's going to do before it even happens.
Yeah, it's like they're reading each other's minds up there on the ice.
And it's something you can't really measure with stats, but you can definitely feel it when you're watching a game.
For sure. And what about individual player performance? Are the Jets' top guys just playing out of their minds? Or are there some unsung heroes stepping up and making a difference?
Right. The guys who don't always get the spotlight, but they're consistently making those clutch plays, those little things that add up to big wins.
Exactly. And of course, we can't forget about the coaching staff.
Oh yeah, the coaches play a huge role.
Right. They're the ones calling the shots, coming up with the strategies, and getting the most out of their players.
So it's not just about who has the best players on paper, it's about how those players are being utilized and motivated.
Absolutely. It's about the whole package, the team, the individuals, the strategy, everything working together in perfect harmony.
It's like a well-oiled machine where every part is functioning at its best.
Right, and that's what makes this whole conversation so fascinating. It's not just about whether the Jets are the best team in Canada, it's about understanding what the best even means.
It's about challenging ourselves to think critically about the game and the factors that contribute to success.
And this is where you, the listener, come in. What do you think makes a team truly great? What criteria do you use to judge a team's performance?
Is it all about those flashy stats? Or do you value things like grit, determination, and the ability to overcome adversity?
Do you prefer a team that's all about offense, racking up goals left and right? Or are you more impressed by a team that's built on defense, shutting down the opponent and grinding out those tough wins?
These are the kind of questions we want you to think about as you watch the rest of the season. Don't just watch the games, analyze them, break them down, and form your own opinions.
Because at the end of the day, that's what makes being a hockey fan so rewarding. It's not just about cheering for your team, it's about understanding the game on a deeper level.
It's about appreciating the nuances and the complexities that make hockey such a beautiful sport.
And even though we may not have all the answers right now, this deep dive has given us a lot to think about. It's challenged us to re-examine what we value in a hockey team and to consider the many factors that contribute to success.
So keep those hockey minds engaged, folks. Keep watching, keep analyzing, and keep those debates going.
And who knows, maybe later in the season we'll finally get to hear what those off-the-post guys had to say about the Jets' hot streak.
Now, that would be a conversation worth listening to, but until then, enjoy the ride, folks, because in the world of hockey, you never know what's going to happen next.
That's right. Every game is a new adventure. Every season is full of surprises, and that's what keeps us coming back for more.
Well said. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and be sure to tune in next time for another exciting exploration of the hockey world.
See you then.